The night has fallen. Welcome to the world of EduTales for Kids. Hey kids, have you ever thought, I wish I could be just like my friend? Well, guess what? Our two princesses had the exact same wish tonight. And with one magical apple, poof, their wish came true. Ready to see what happens next? Let's dive into the story. In a faraway kingdom, there lived two beautiful twin princesses named Alara and Ivy. Princess Alara had golden hair that shimmered like summer sunshine, just like their mother's, and eyes as blue as sparkling jewels at the bottom of a lake. Whenever she danced the waltz at grand balls, the entire palace seemed to hold its breath. People would whisper, "Oh, Alara is truly the perfect princess." But Alara didn't think so. Every time she saw her sister lost in a book in the royal library, she felt a quiet sadness in her heart. If only I were as smart as Ivy. Everyone only calls me beautiful. They'll never know how heavy that crown feels. Princess Ivy was different. She had soft chestnut brown hair, just like their father's. Warm brown eyes and freckles sprinkled across her cheeks, like a tiny galaxy of stars. She could name every constellation in the sky, knew all the herbs in the garden, and could solve the trickiest riddles with ease. But Ivy hardly noticed those things. She would often glance at her sister in her sparkling gowns and think, if only I were as graceful and beautiful as Alara. She looks like a true fairy tale princess. And me, I'm just a little scholar tucked away in books. One afternoon, while the sisters sat in the enchanted garden, they argued over the tiniest thing. "Ivy, you just tore the ribbon on my dress," Alara scolded, her voice sharp. "And you stepped on my precious map," Ivy shot back. "You only ever care about dresses and dancing." "At least I don't bury my nose in books all day. Try speaking in front of a crowd, Ivy. Would you be half as confident then?" They turned away from each other, hearts tangled with jealousy and hurt. Each wished they could be the other, if only for one single day. Nanny May, who had cared for the princesses since they were tiny, had seen everything. Quietly, she walked to a secret corner of the garden, a place only she knew. There grew an ancient apple tree, bearing just one glowing fruit. It was the magic apple, a treasure older than the kingdom itself. She carried it to the sisters and said gently, "My dears, try this apple. Its taste is unlike any other." Alara and Ivy were still upset, but their curiosity got the better of them. They both reached out for the apple. The moment they touched it, the apple split in two on its own. A dazzling light burst forth, making them squeeze their eyes shut. A soft breeze swept through, carrying the scent of sugar candy and flower petals. When they opened their eyes, something strange had happened. Alara suddenly felt shorter. She looked at her hands and saw tiny ink stains. Rushing to the mirror, she gasped. Staring back was Ivy's face. Ivy, meanwhile, felt her hair grow long and golden. Her dress had turned into flowing silk, and on her feet were Alara's shining dancing shoes. "Oh my goodness!" she cried, hearing Alara's graceful voice. "I'm Alara?" At first, they panicked, but curiosity quickly took over. They decided to keep it secret and swap lives for a day. Ilara, inside Ivy's body, thought happily, "Now I can spend the whole day in the library." She ran inside, pulling out a thick book about constellations. But the letters wriggled and danced on the page. She tried to remember where the North Star was, but her mind went blank. A courtier asked politely, "Princess Ivy, can you solve this riddle about our kingdom's history?" Ilara stammered, face burning red. So, being as smart as Ivy isn't easy at all. Ivy, inside Ilara's body, was thrilled. "This is wonderful. I'll be the most graceful princess ever." She put on Ilara's loveliest gown and descended the grand staircase, but she kept tripping over the hem. At lunch, she spilled raspberry syrup all over her white dress. In the afternoon, during dance lessons, she tried to twirl, but her stiff steps made her stumble and fall with a loud thud. Everyone stared in surprise. Tears filled Ivy's eyes. Oh no, being as elegant as Ilara takes so much practice. I thought it was easy. After the lesson, Ivy sat in the garden, feeling clumsy and sad. Just then, a little girl from the village ran up, holding a messy drawing. "Princess Ilara, I made this for you. I want to be as beautiful as you when I grow up." Ivy held the picture, her heart softening. She realized her sister's beauty wasn't just for looks. It inspired joy and hope in others. When she smiled at the girl, the child's eyes lit up. A smile, she thought, could be its own kind of gift. Meanwhile, Ilara wandered the garden. Birds fluttered down to her shoulder, chirping stories she'd never noticed before. A squirrel offered her a nut. She felt the world around her brimming with wonders she'd never seen. An old gardener said, "Thank you, Princess Ivy, for showing me how to heal this rose bush. Your wisdom brought it back to life." Warmth bloomed in Ilara's heart, so different from applause at a ball. It was the joy of truly helping someone. At sunset, the sisters met again in the garden, no longer angry, no longer jealous. Their eyes now shone with understanding. "Ilara," Ivy whispered first, voice trembling, "today I learned, being as graceful as you takes so much effort. I'm sorry." "No, Ivy, I should apologize," Ilara said. "I thought you only sat with books, but your wisdom helps so many people. I was foolish not to see it." They burst into tears and hugged each other tightly. At that moment, a warm light wrapped around them. They returned to their own bodies, but everything felt different now. Ilara giggled, brushing Ivy's cheek. "Ivy, do you know something? Your curiosity and intelligence make you truly magical." Ivy laughed, her brown eyes shining. "And you're not just beautiful and good at dancing. Every step you take brings joy and brightness, filling the room with energy." From that day on, people didn't just see Ilara as the graceful princess in dazzling gowns. They also saw her listening eagerly to Ivy's wonderful stories. And they saw Ivy, the wise princess, glowing in a gown with a smile just as radiant as her sisters. Together they learned, true beauty is not just sparkling gowns or clever minds. It shines from kindness, intelligence, and a loving heart. Each of us is a star in our own way. The most important thing is to cherish ourselves and treasure the differences in others. Because those differences are what make the world so colorful and magical. My dear little ones, that is the end of our tale about the twin princesses. And now, good night. May you have the sweetest dreams tonight.